We're here today with Angela Vasquez, and we're going to talk about stereotypes and staring. So, right off the bat, what's your experience with staring?
And stared at basically my entire life. I feel like when I was younger, like it used to bother me a lot, but now that I've gotten older, I feel like it hasn't really bothered me as much.
And how does it make you feel when people stare?
Um, how I feel about it is that like it kind of makes me uncomfortable because I know like the center of focus in that moment, and I also feel like they acknowledge like my difference, and I feel like I don't really see myself as being different, so that when other people acknowledge it, it just makes me kind of like uncomfortable.
And when people stare, what type of staring does it get off?
Curiosity, only because of the way like the facial expressions are, or like let's say someone's staring at me, like 2 seconds later someone had the courage to like come up to me and like start asking me questions like about my disability, so I just feel like it's all based off curiosity.
At what age group do you feel stares at you the most?
I feel like children stare at me the most, probably because like they're at that stage where like they're first like having their first encounters with like things, and so I feel like maybe like I'm their first encounter of like seeing someone with like a disability.
And do you blame people for staring?
I don't really blame people for staring because I understand that I am different like physically and that it's noticeable, but like I just wish that they would like, I don't know, approach my difference in a different way rather.
How do you respond to the staring?
I feel like sometimes, depending on my mood, sometimes I acknowledge it, and like it kind of makes them uncomfortable when I acknowledge it because I kind of feel like ashamed of it, and then they stop staring. Or sometimes I like ignore it and just go about my business, even though.
What's the stereotype that you find yourself being associated with?
I get associated with is that like people underestimate my abilities and I'm not really capable of much.
Do you have a story where someone assumed something because of your disability?
Yeah. Well, fairly recently, for my like first day of college, one of my first interactions with someone, we had to take a picture, and I had to be near the railing of the stairs, and someone asked me like why I had to be like in that specific spot, and I explained to them that I had a disability, and then their response was, "Well, can you do math?" So I feel like maybe she thought like because I had a disability that like I was in some way like impaired like cognitively, And
Why do you think people have these stereotypes?
I feel like what the media puts out, obviously people have their own personal experience with like disability, whether in their family, like their loved ones, etc. Like their experiences are gonna be different. But I feel like for the most part, like whatever like people see the most of something, they're basically gonna go based off that and like assume like, oh, everybody that's disabled like is this way, you know.
Do these stereotypes affect you, and if so, in what way?
I feel like when I was younger, they used to affect me a lot. I feel like I put more pressure on myself to like, you know, kind of like erase my disability in a sense, and like now I feel like I still kind of put that pressure on myself. Like a big part of my life, it's like I acknowledge it, like it's there, but it's like at the end of the day, like I can't really change who I am. Like I'm